Hi, today we're going to take a look at a couple Jura machines. We're going to compare them. Oh, I'm Mark, by the way. We have Gina running the camera today. Say hey, Gina.
Hey, everyone.
Okay. So what we have is the Impressa C9 and the Impressa F8, both Jura machines. If you're in Switzerland, that's Jura, actually. So they're one-touch bean-to-cup super automatic espresso machines, both with the capability to make milk-based drinks as well. Now, where they differ a little bit, well, big difference. I mean, they look very similar. They're of about the same size. Let's see, both about 11 inches wide, 14 inches high, and 17.5 inches deep. Where they differ really is in the screens. As you can see over here, we've kind of got like this LED display over here, and that's on the C9. If we go over to the F8, ooh, isn't this pretty? We have this very nice color screen. It's very high resolution. So you can see all the different drinks that you can select right here. I love this for if you have guests over and maybe they aren't real familiar with milk-based drinks. You can see exactly what they look like, put your cup under, press the button here, it'll make that drink. So that's one big difference. But let's go over the basic similarities. So both have water tanks on the left-hand side, and they're both the same size, 64 ounces. So you can fill that right at the machine, take it off, fill it at the sink. Both machines are also going to come with a water filter. We highly recommend using the water filter. We don't have it in right now, but that will increase the time between these scalings and also give you better tasting coffee. Again, it's kind of the same layout over here on the F8. Again, the exact same thing, comes with a water filter as well. Looking up top, a little different. On the C9 here, we have a little passive cup warming surface. This will keep your glasses a little warm. I'm going to take those off right now, so some nice space up there. Then back a little further, this is a bypass doser. So these are bean-to-cup machines. They use whole bean coffee, grind them fresh, but you can use some pre-ground coffee. You just put it into here, close the cover, machine knows you want to use that then, and we'll brew with that. Then over on the other side, here on this machine, on the C9, this is where your whole bean coffee would go. There's also an adjustment back here for the grinder. So you can choose from 6 different grind settings here. And the trick to that, if you don't already know, you want a finer grind for espresso and a coarser grind for longer coffees. There's some exceptions to that where based on the roast of the bean, you might want to go a little coarser, that kind of thing. So over on the F8, it's just a little different. Instead of our bean hopper over here, we have this handy little storage area where the scoop stays. This is a spout that will go where our milk spout goes, and that's for dispensing water. Back here is the bean hopper. Now it looks kind of small, but it's actually a very large volume down in here, so it fits quite a bit of beans. Oh, and also I neglected to mention, here's the adjustment for the grind. And again, on both machines, you have 6 grind settings. So now looking up front, a little bit different in the way the spouts work too. Now on the C9, it comes with this thermally insulated milk container, so your milk goes in here. And then for milk-based drinks, you'd put your cup under here, and both coffee and milk will come out of here. And in fact, what I'm going to do while we're taking a look at this is program a cappuccino. So you can program a cappuccino using a menu, which you'd access from here. The other way we can do it is just by pressing and holding the cappuccino button, and then it'll ask us when we have the milk and stuff that we want. And you can see it says enough milk. So you hear it grinding beans right now. It's also heating up in order to steam our milk. And one thing I really like about the C9 is you've got, you can vary the quality of the milk froth all the way from no air in the milk, like that, all the way up to lots of air in the milk like that. So once I've got enough milk, all I'm going to do is hit that cappuccino button again. That's where I like it. Now it's going to go ahead and brew our espresso into that to make our cappuccino. And by varying that milk froth here, you can really go from a lower quantity of air in your milk for something like a latte to something with a lot more air in your milk for like a cappuccino. And you can see over here it's asking me if I have enough coffee. And one more time, I'm going to go once I like that milk to come right up to the edge. So now it will keep that program. So next time I put the glass under here, press this button, I'm going to get exactly that. Now you can go in here, and if I press and hold on this little button here, this is the other way you can program. It's going to tell me I don't want to rinse, so I'm going to go to buttons. So I'm just turning this dial to go through the different things on the menu here. So if I go back to buttons, rinse buttons, now I can program my cappuccino here. So it says buttons. Now I'm just going to press the cappuccino button. I think. Oh, I have to select that first. Now select the button. Okay. And now we can tell it how much milk we want. And we, by selecting milk, pressing the button, and it does the amount of milk by time. So you gotta get a feel for how much time it takes to get a certain amount of milk, but I like that. And that was the time we just programmed. Then we can go to water, that's actually the amount of coffee. And this you can program by ounces. So if you want just, like a regular shot of espresso, you maybe go 1.5 ounces. Then you can also select strength of your coffee between normal and strong. I like them strong, so I select OK. And we go to temperature, and we go normal or high. And I'd like my espresso nice and hot, so I'll say OK. And then once we've got that, I'll program exit. So you can program it by pressing and holding or using the functions here. Now, a little bit, very similar, but yeah, different over here. Of course, we got the full screen display, and it's got a rotary dial and button up here, kind of like what we had behind the thing there. So I can program drinks here by going into the programming function here. And you see a bunch of different menus here. So we've got some maintenance where you can do some cleaning, descaling, or cleaning out of the milk system. Rinse the coffee or milk system here. To program drinks, we're going to go into the expert mode. And then I'm just going to select, you can see the different drinks here. And again, you get the pictures. I like that. So if you wanted to program a cappuccino, you'd go to cappuccino and say, OK. And then you've got the same things here. Volume of espresso, coffee strength, your temperature, your amount of milk. And you can also, with the milk-based drinks, a little different on this machine, you can set an interval. And what that does is allow the milk to settle out so you can get some of that layering. And if we want to exit out of that, we just press that button again. And then it does come up with 4 kind of common drinks right on the main menu, and you can just select those here. Or then once you just start turning the dial again, you get into those lovely pictures. Now, over here, you see we have our milk just going into a pitcher right now. This could be a carton of milk, whatever you want. We don't have the separate spouts over here like we did on the C9. So if you place your glass under here, now I've already programmed the cappuccino button, so I can just press that button right here. Or, if maybe my guests, they don't know exactly what they want and they see the picture of the cappuccino right there. Select that. And now it's going to make that drink all into here. Now, these are both considered one-touch machines, but on the F8, you have to do one other thing here. As it starts to make the cappuccino the way this machine works, it's heating up right now. It's kind of indicating that. So I did the one touch of the button. Now I just have to open this up so it'll do my milk. And you can see the amount of milk. Like I said, I already programmed this earlier. Also, the milk froth on this is not adjustable. So Gene, if you come in, let's just get a kind of a close look. Oh, and you also see it does this cool little light that it shines down on your drink. So that's kind of nice. But that's the quality of the froth. It's a nice, airy kind of cappuccino froth. Now it's telling me to close that switch. So I'm going to close that switch. Now it's going to put my espresso in there. And I may have programmed the espresso or the milk just a little bit long here. And if at any time, it's going to do 2 ounces of espresso. You can see right in the display, it's telling us that. I do like my drinks to come right up and over the edge. And if I say, oh, you know what, that's enough, I can always stop any process just by pressing that center button. So there are our 2 cappuccinos. Now you can also make a latte macchiato over here. That's in the menus right here. And again, that would use that interval to give you that separation. So you'd have a milk layer on the bottom, then a layer of espresso, then a frothier milk on top. It just uses a little delay, that interval in between putting out the milk and making the espresso that gets you the layering. Both machines can also make long coffees. So you have selections for coffee up here, obviously espresso. You can program a ristretto separately, or 2 ristretti, espresso, 2 espressi, coffee, or 2 coffees. Now, a lot of machines, they'll grind a separate one. The Juras, they use a larger coffee dose. So if I wanted to make an espresso, let's go back to just espresso here. It just defaulted back to that. Oh, it's also telling me to rinse the milk system. Another nice thing about both these machines is they do that milk system rinse. You want to keep things clean. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to have it make an espresso. We'll do one over there. I'm going to exit out of our menu over here, and I'll have it do a espresso over here as well. So our espresso button is right here. And I'm going to program this one because I'm not sure if it's really programmed. So I'm just going to do that press and hold thing again. You see it says enough coffee. So over here on the Impressa F8, there's our shot of espresso. Got a nice layer of crema in there. Again, I'm using a very fine grind for my espresso. So back over here. Now both these machines do a pre-infusion, so it kind of wet the coffee puck first and then did the full pressure espresso brewing. Once I've got enough coffee, hit the button, now that amount will be programmed. And then you can see our espresso right there. And it's got some nice crema going. I'm going to take a little taste here, see what it tastes like. Tastes very good. It's nice and hot. And the same. Now these machines are going to brew essentially the same. So going over the big differences one more time, and we'll take a look inside as well. The adjustable milk froth in the separate dispensing area for milk and espresso here. Also a much simpler kind of, just this LED display for the menu. Now moving over to the F8, of course, we have that color display, and we have the spouts grouped together, so we get everything coming out at once. No option for changing the type of froth on this. I should also say both machines have adjustable spouts here, come up and down. So if you're using, making just espresso, you can have your espresso come out much closer to your cup. Or if you wanted to do, a larger, regular kind of long coffee, you got plenty of room there as well. Let's take a quick look inside because Jura machines are a little different than some other ones. So after you brew, your used coffee puck is going to end up in here. Then the drip tray is all one unit, so any drippage or water machine has to put out goes into that drip tray. So you empty those once in a while. And the capacity on for the used coffee in here is, I believe, 16. Works the same way on the Impressa over here, that used coffee puck drawer, a little bit larger, but same sort of a drip tray arrangement where all the water ends up in there, and you just dump that out every once in a while. Now, these machines, on some other super automatic machines, you'll have that brewing unit, which is your little mini barista that you take out of the machine and rinse. Most Jura machines are a little different. The brew group does not remove, so what you do to get that clean every once in a while, and the machine will tell you when to do this, use one of these cleaning tablets. A couple of them come with the machine. And you just pop one of these into the bypass doser and then run the cleaning cycle. Let's see. Overall, you've got, a lot more maintenance items in these menus here and different things you can do. You can, like I said, run clean and to scale. You can get in to rinse either the coffee or the milk system. That expert mode, you can return everything to a factory setting. The machines will use multiple languages. You can have it switch off after a certain amount of time. Let's take a look at what that is. So you can do 8 hours. So you can go anywhere from 15 minutes on up to up to 15 hours. So you can also do energy saving modes right here. Deeper in the menu, you can change the units. So if you wanted to use milliliters instead of ounces, you can do that. And we'll go to the other menus here. You can tell the machine your water hardness. The machines will come with, one of these water hardness test strips. So between what you get as a reading on this, you enter that into the machine, tell it whether you're using a filter. The machine will tell you when it needs to be descaled based on those two things and how many coffees you've made. And you can also have it rinse every time you switch it on. And then the last one, you can count the number of products that we've made, these total preparations on this machine. This is kind of new out of the box, just 13. And as you go through, you can see some of the other ones, 7 espressos. So it'll tell you exactly how many drinks you've made of each variety. So again, much simpler menu setup over here. But you have all the same functions. And after you make a milk-based drink, see, like it's telling me to rinse the cappuccino system right now. And might as well start that while we're doing. So I like to put something under there when I do that. and it puts a little light right here next to the rinse button. So it rinses this out, keeps it clean. So again, big difference on these two. That menu and the ability to adjust the froth on this machine. This one does give you the ability to do intervals to have milk separate out a little bit more, and then of course the grouping of the spouts. So that is the Jura Impressa C9 and the F8. They're both available at WholeLatteLove.com. I'm Mark, and I want to thank you all for watching.
Hey, why not subscribe now for easy free access to more videos on everything coffee, brought to you by WholeLatteLove.com.